Okay, these are some PSI notes for customer Bob Sellers, Lowe's 2474. The cabinets in question are these three cabinets here. This is a wall 24 here. This is a pantry 21 here. And then below here, we've got a 27-inch drawer base. Now, what I've found today as I'm looking is that if you go and look behind this filler up high in the corner back in there, there's actually about a 3/8 inch gap. Now that gap actually is filled in. If you look behind the little speaker here, it's actually filled in really good there with caulking and with grout. But what's happening is when you get on a ladder and you go up to the top of that cabinet, up here where this is actually at, the cabinet is touching the wall and is kicked out as it comes down forward on the base. Now that's causing a difference in measurement. When I measure here at the top of this panel, I've got 11 7/8 inches on the front. When I measure down here at the bottom, I'm at 12 3/16. That's almost 3/8 of an inch difference. And it's because the cabinet is out of plumb to the wall and also out of plumb to the wall cabinet up beside of it. It's twisted, and that's where we're getting, or racked, if you want to call it. That's where we're getting these doors that are bouncy. They're bouncy in the same corner, top and bottom door. Now the doors have been replaced already. They've done that, I think he said 2 or 3 times. So when we're talking about replacements, that's not going to fix this issue. The fixing of this issue is going to be removal of the cabinet, the countertop, the pantry, the wall cabinet, resetting this corner to where you have a plumb and level cabinet base, to where you actually don't have any issues with the actual cabinet being twisted. That's what's causing that issue there. Now, come back over here on the other side. We have a replacement cabinet door for this one. It's a bouncy door as well. That's a 2436. I've seen it in there. We have that one. So the idea here is we're going to maybe remove these, replace them, and refit them. And then this one we'll replace the door and do any adjustments we need to do with the hinges on it to correct that. A couple other things to look at. You've got some gappage. All of our light rail and stuff, we've got some pretty decent air gaps between. You can see the light right there. And then also underneath on the bottoms, you've got lippage where the miters are not actually flat with each other. The actual miters are hanging one past the other, kind of tweaked. Plus, we've got nail heads exposed. I've actually got some pretty good little nail heads hanging out from the bottoms of the cabinets. Need to be recessed and set. Now come on over here to the sink area and you take a look. You've got a sliver. You got a little sliver right there of a piece of wood between, and see it's a different color. And then you come over here to this side and the same thing exists right there, a little sliver between. Well, the valance itself is exactly 36 inches wide, and that was what was on the order. I checked their order. But they've added that small filler in there because of the gapping, I guess, on either side of the window. So we're looking at maybe getting a batten trim to go over that spot. And it's the same molding that they're using against the walls here to hide that discoloration. Just add another layer of molding to the front where it's a little more attractive than those multiple seams there together. We also have this door. This door is in the other room. So we have that 21 by 42 door here to be replaced. And then we can tweak on the hinges a little bit to make that one work out for it. Come on around here to the bottom on the sink base 36. This door on the left-hand side has got really thick glazing in the corners of it. Just stands out as being a totally different look than the other door on the other side of it. So they're asking that door, sink base 36 door, be replaced. The other thing about this corner right here is the same thing. We've got some lippage underneath the light rails here. You can see that underneath. They're not level or even with each other. So we're looking at getting an extra piece of light rail on my material order so we can actually replace those that need to be replaced and adjust those that can be, but just to have them sure of the materials we need. Come around over here on this side. We've got the two doors, two cabinet bases here. One of the cabinet base drawers, this one, stops. This one here, under the same push, retracts fully. So I'm not sure if there's maybe dust or something from the countertop that got in the tracks, or there's a frictional difference between the two drawers retracting. So they want to get a pair of drawer slides as a replacement for this drawer, because it just doesn't make any crunchy sound or anything, but it does not retract without a lot harder push to make that happen. One of the other things we noticed too, customer was looking at this gap right here. You've actually got a gap right above the fridge. So we've got a piece of molding that we're going to put in there, because you can see the screw heads. If you look back, you can see the underside of the cabinet and the screw heads through the inside of that. And then one of the things we noticed when we were here is that this end panel to the right of the refrigerator, the end panel has never been attached to the floor. It's just moving. So we need to adhere that to the floor and make that sturdy so we don't have any problems with that moving around. All in all, I'm looking at about 16 hours, probably 2 days, just carefully removing appliances, removing cabinets, fixing this, tweaking that, making things right. So I believe I've covered everything. Let me look one more time on my list. Sliding in, stone tops, reset, all of that's on there. Light rail, touch-up kits, that's it. That's nothing. When you get a bag of restrictors, that's the hinge clip restrictors. If you look, that will bounce right off there. So we're looking to try to get a restrictor for that door. We've already had restrictors placed on these doors, and see, they don't touch when they open and close. So we just need some more restrictors. There's already been some put on, but we need some more for that side of the room. And then touch-up kits. The touch-up kits that are here have been used. There's very little crayon left. There's only one marker left. I have no glaze pen. So we need to get at least one touch-up kit of base color and one glaze pen of base color. Oh, there is one more thing about wiring that I need to show you. Look back here. Take a look above the sink. Looky there. We got a little wire hanging out high above the sink up there. From a distance, you can see it when you're walking into the room. Just one of them little eye boogers that needs to be fixed up. So I think that's pretty much it. If you guys remember anything else?
Where the light is over the sink.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I might have skipped over. There's also a molding that we need. I got it on my list. There's a molding we're needing for there, where there's a gap. And then there's a molding there that we're needing to replace. They did it up the side panels, but they didn't cross the top. And so you actually got a pretty decent gap on both sides of the top there. All right, if you have any other questions for me, feel free to give me a call at 423-650-1051. Thank you very much. Have a good day.